Good afternoon, friends, and welcome. I'll be sharing live trades and results with you. We'll be evaluating how well these trades work out. We'll be benchmarking this against the S&P 500. I'm expecting to be outperforming it every month. Along the way, I'll also be sharing some lessons I've learned about investments, trading, and building wealth. And of course, the mandatory disclaimer. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It should not be interpreted as advice. And with that, let's get into it. Right, our last trade, we took a one-day gain here, and that worked out pretty well. I think this setup's really interesting because we took an exit when the market was at this level. The market's gapped down and run down pretty far. So I always like these setups. Anytime we're selling at a higher price and buying back in a lower price, no matter what happens, that's still a good entry point. And obviously, if it goes up, that's great. If it goes down, it's not so good. But this is a good entry. The buy and hold situation, we would have taken a loss from our other position. But right now, we've avoided this much of a loss. I think that's always important, and I think that's good. Not losing money is important. So this looks like a pretty good place to enter. Which way the market's going to go, who knows? But Adam's going to go ahead and take an entry in here. We can watch that order go in live, and trade 24 is on. Well, here we are a couple days later. Our entry point was right at this level. I mentioned that I think it's a good entry. We're either going to avoid some losses or pick up some potential gains against the buy and hold strategy. The first day, the market seemed to be pretty much trading about the same price as our entry. That was true the second day as well. But the third day, there was a big drop in the market. It's almost like this big shark came up and took a big bite out of our profits. So Adam waited one more day, and when the market went up a little bit, he's decided that he's had enough. He's been a little bit gun shy in this market, but whether the market's going to continue to fall or whether this is a turning around point, I don't think anybody knows. But for us, and in terms of just trying to avoid any additional risk, we're going to go ahead and take an exit. You can watch that order go in live, and trade 24 is over. We're going to have to head over to our tracking sheet and see how we're doing. Well, here we are on September the 9th. The S&P 500 closed at 546.41. The drop in the S&P from our last trade was minus 3.63%. The brings the buy and hold strategy down from 18.5 to just around 15%, just below 15%. I mentioned, we avoided part of that loss by being out of the market. I think the entry was a good entry. We took a 2% loss, a little over 2%, 2.18, and that brings our year-to-date total to 733. Now, I think that's an interesting trade because I think the trade itself was okay. The prior exit and this entry was good, but our results are still lagging. The S&P dropped 3.6%. We lost, a little over 2%, but it brings our buy and hold strategy down to, it brings our trading strategy down to 7.33%. I think this is abysmal. The other thing to note too is these aren't necessarily additive because as I'm buying and selling, if there's a profit, I'm going to add it into the next trade. So it has a bit of a compounding effect, but that can also hurt quite a bit when there's a loss, like in this case there was. So I am adding those profits and losses back in and trying to maximize the account. And sometimes that works really good when the market's moving with us, and when it's moving against us, it isn't. So looking at our key metrics, we took a loss. We were matching this expected value of 70. We're now at a 67% win rate, which is okay. But the big problem here is the beat the market factor is now below 0.5. So I'd say pretty abysmal. I said I was expecting to beat the market every month. I don't think that's true this year. Although we're trying, that's certainly not the case. But the results speak for themselves. So we are definitely not doing well on our metric of beat the market. You can take a look at our 4-year view. Good for 3 years, but this is the big game this year. And right now, I would say we are failing miserably. All I can say is, we still have what, 3.5 months or so left in the year. We're going to have to hope for a big comeback. A little piece of trading strategy that I have is I don't like to rely on one big win or a couple of big wins. And I feel like we're sort of backed into a corner hoping for something magical to happen. If it does, that's great, and I save a little face, but that's not the kind of trading that I want to be doing. I do want to be beating the market every month. So I would say so far in 3 quarters of 2024, the first quarter was okay, but after that we haven't been doing the job. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens on our next trade. That's it for today. How do you think we're doing? Please comment below and let me know how this compares to other investments you've seen. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only and should not be taken or interpreted as advice. Until next time.